Carl here, sharing a few secrets I wish I'd known years ago of how to create great maple colours in the fall and how to enjoy them. So to start us off straight away, we have Acer Seiryu. Absolutely fantastic tree, and this is how she was a couple of weeks ago, and what a difference a couple of weeks have actually meant. So this tree's been in full sun on a south facing wall, and as we'll see later, these are commonly the ones that change colour quickly. You can see going into the leaves there, this isn't caused by sun scorch or wind damage, etc. Every leaf is changing. This is part of the natural process the tree goes into. We're drawing minerals and nutrients back into the root system, ready for the fall, and this is what's creating the lovely colour effect that we all enjoy so much. What you can see on the top there, actually, even though this has done very, very well during the summer and hardly had any leaf burn whatsoever, a little bout of sunshine a few days ago, bright sunshine's actually burnt the leaves a bit, and that's kind of to be expected when the tree's closing down for the winter months. So just coming up now, we have Crimson Queen, which, as you can see from these pictures a few weeks ago, has retained a lovely sort of deep red colour, which has been very, very nice, and was actually a bit greener on the side of the tree that had more shade. And we can see that reflected in the autumn colours here, or the fall colours, where the side nearest to the sun facing the camera, the leaves have changed quicker, they've changed dark to a deeper red colour, and it's really, really very beautiful. But I think it's interesting to note that the side away from the tree is still, it's more of its summer coloration. So I think perhaps the learning here is that it's a combination of the tree withdrawing nutrients from the leaves to store, and the amount of sun on the tree that has a combined effect to decide when the full colours actually appear. And very interesting to note that this year in the UK, the colours are profoundly different to the year before. We're a good week or two different to last year. It was certainly the colours changed quicker last year when there was an awful lot more sun about. As you can see here, a couple of days later, however, and it's really developed the most gorgeous red colour. So another great lesson, keep checking your trees because things will change very quickly over time. And just to show you ShIshigashira here, by contrast, this tree is in a south facing position, and I've noticed this in the other years. You could just see a little bit there on the tips, but generally speaking it's still the same colours it's been all summer. So this is called the lion's mane for good reason, because it will change to a beautiful sort of yellowy shade when it finally changes for the fall, but at the moment it's pretty much unaffected. So a great lesson. Don't think that perhaps everything's going to change at the same time, because they won't. And if you don't keep checking your trees and having a look, you could well miss out. Worth noting as well, very much so, that in the case of something like Koto-No-Ito here, there we go, very green, lush, bamboo-like almost structure just a few weeks ago. Because of the very, very thin leaves on this tree, it changes very, very quickly in the fall. And again, the little spell of warm weather we had recently in the UK, just a couple of days of sunshine, has really dried things out. I mean, that tree's absolutely fine. It's just that those leaves are very thin, very fragile, and will tend to change quite quickly in my experience. It's really pretty nonetheless, and it goes to the sort of same colour changing scenarios as other trees, but it's not a tree you're really going to grow particularly for autumn colour, because it will just never really produce something amazing. When we'll find that many of the palmate leaf trees are particularly nice in the summer, and of course the disectum is just brilliant too. So it's nice to have a variety of trees in your garden to experience the best of all worlds, really. So on to little Viridis here. Lovely, lovely tree, and has done well this year. It's retained its sort of namesake. It's Viridis, it's very green. And what we'll see in a second is that it's now in that intermediary phase, so starting to look rather gorgeous. And here we have it situated where the sun falls behind the wall behind it, so it's kind of got morning sun and afternoon shade. And once again, you can see the leaves on this side are maturing faster than the ones at the back, because they get more sunlight basically. So it's a combination of the sun, the environment which the tree's sitting in. Interestingly, this is called Viridis, which kind of sounds green and means green. Whereas Crimson Queen, what does that mean? Well, you have to wait till the fall really to see exactly what's going on. A bit like cultivars like Western Burnt Orange really, which is green all year until it finally turns a really vivid orange in the winter, which kind of explains its name. So here we have Filigree, which you can see has got a little bit of reddening there because the sun has sort of tanned it a little bit and changed it slightly. But as you can see here, this was sort of a prelude to what actually happens come the fall or autumn, depending on which side of the Atlantic you are, perhaps, or in the world. And here we can see, again, similar story, greener towards the back, and it's really changing a very pretty shade of red at the front, which is lovely. So this is a tree that vaguely resembles Seiryu. It's not Seiryu, it's definitely a sort of weeping dissectum, but it's been staked up. But in a similar way, the leaf changes are kind of similar, but the Seiryu I showed you earlier, because it's in direct sunlight all day, is a stage further on than this. But nonetheless, it's nice to see a sort of variety, and having it in a sort of morning sun and afternoon shade position really slows the whole transition down. So it's sort of a slow burning firework rather than something that goes off all in one go. So Okushimo here, again, similar position to the tree before. And what we'll see is it's luscious green here. It's really very nice indeed. And just a couple of weeks later, we can really see the start of that transformation again. So it bodes very well for things to come. And once a tree goes like this, it's really, really worth keeping an extremely close eye on it, because literally a day or two can make a world of difference. And if you don't get out in the garden, it's raining today, but I've been out to have a look, and you might miss out on the experience of enjoying the autumn colours, really, which are all too brief. I think as well, because the summer is so strange this year in the UK, and what's happened is that the season has been massively elongated, so these really would have changed a week or two ago by now. It might actually be a very short season. So it's just another good reason to get out there. So moving on now to Jordan, and just to demonstrate, if you see a tree out and about, it's going to reflect very much what's in your own home or property, really. So there's Jordan in plenty of shade in the summer months, and it's retained that lush green colour, and it is quite sun sensitive. So another cracking example of, you can see exactly where the sun falls on it, and you've enjoyed some nice coloured leaves, which are burnt in some instances during the summer months. And that's brought the fall colours much, much more advanced to the leaves further down. So the lesson here, I think, is that if you want better coloured leaves through the summer months, then give these trees some sun, but you can't then expect them to be around so long in the autumn or fall, exhibiting their colours, because you're just advancing them down that process, really, and that losing the green leaves and the chlorophyll that's in them as part of the autumn process is very much related to what's happening as they react to the sun during the summer months. Lovely tree, Jordan. It's a Shiraswanum. It's that lovely broad leaves, and does react rather differently actually to many other Shiraswanums. So in this instance here, we've got Moonrise, which is just more sun tolerant. So during the summer months, the leaves have gone this sort of rather gorgeous shade of orangey, reddy colours, etc. But because that had an awful lot of sun in the summer, and I gave it to it and enjoyed all the colours, I think you'll see as we go into the tree now that it looks as though it's the end of the autumn almost. They're ready to fall off, most of the leaves, whereas you can see the leaves further down the tree are still have more hydration. They're still in a slightly less desiccated sort of situation, really. So again, I think it's interesting that I've had weeks and weeks and weeks of enjoyment and pleasure out this tree, because it looks absolutely gorgeous, but in a sense it's a bit of a letdown in the autumn. Don't mind too much, because I've got other trees that are particularly good at doing a show in the autumn, really. So that to me shows very much that having a variety of cultivars is really helpful. And then we come to little Aureum here, which is, as you can see, because of sunlight, just started to change colour a little bit. But this is much more a genuine reflection of where it's heading in this winter. So a third Shiraswanum, they do look absolutely lovely. And just looking at the leaf in the top middle there, it's really changed colour all over. Other ones are quite a mixture. So trees that do this, with leaves that do this, look really, really impressive in my opinion. And then we come to the lovely Shaina, which, as you can see, has sort of patches of red and green, and is all sorts of different colours, really. But clearly the full colours are well on this tree. It's reacted really well. It's in a very sunny situation, and it just turns the most gorgeous kind of vivid red colours, which is just fantastic. Shaina is a super little tree. It's slow growing. It's kind of something that everyone should have, really, and I think it's particularly good because it offers something all the season, all the summer, and then looks brilliant in the fall as well, actually. So you're kind of getting the best of both worlds. So what we've got coming up is Osakazuki and Kalani, who are absolutely fabulous trees for the fall, the autumn. So we'll see you very soon.